Welcome everyone to the regular meeting for the Village Trustees, Monday, March 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Call this meeting to order. And I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we skipped a step. We got to go back to agenda review.
No,
It's out of order.
it was out of order.
We've already reviewed
We,
it.
Already did that?
number 7 is going to be postponed. Aldrich and Elliott regrets to inform you that they are sick. So
Oh, okay.
the engineer who was presenting is out.
Feedback.
Diana, we're going to reschedule for
Yeah.
4/27.
Okay.
Anything else for agenda review? Number 4, public comment. Welcome, public. Anybody out online?
He's not public.
We have 3 online.
That'll end public comment. Number 5, approve and accept minutes from Monday, March 9th, 2026 as presented.
I move that we approve and accept the minutes from Monday, March 9th, 2026 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a first and a second to approve the minutes for Monday, March 9th, 2026. Any further discussion on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Motion carried. Number 6, approve and accept village warrants through Thursday, March 19th, 2026.
I'll make the motion that we accept the village warrants through Thursday, March 19th, 2026.
I'll second that motion too.
All right, we have a first and a second to approve the warrants through Thursday, March 19th, 2026. Any further discussion on those warrants?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Number 7 will be postponed till the 4th, 27th. Number 8, Swanton Village Police Department update with Chief Matt Sullivan. Welcome, Matt.
Sergeant, come on up.
Is here good?
Yes,
Yeah.
no, you're great.
I believe that you all have electronic copies of these. Okay, perfect. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I don't have like specific granular detail on all of these incidents, but I'll do the best I can if you have a specific question. I'll start with January 26th for the village. Broadly, our numbers for that month, we had 138 incidents, and the breakdown for that with traffic, 32 traffic stops, which resulted in 13 tickets and 34 warnings. Of all of those incidents, we resulted with 10 arrests, 9 individuals, which resulted in 15 charges spread across the 9 individuals. And we have, like I said, 33 traffic stops, and then the breakdown of those incidents is as follows. Suspicious circumstances, 13, 9 welfare checks, VIN inspections, we had 6, family fights, domestic, 6, threatening, 6, information, reports, agency assists, motor vehicle complaints, and restraining orders you typically service. All of those were 4, each for the month of January for the village. Any questions about those?
Nope.
No? Okay. Town, January, 152 incidents. The motor vehicle enforcement breakdown is 62 traffic stops, which resulted in 15 tickets, 70 warnings. And of those 152 incidents, we had 9 arrests for 8 people, 8 individuals, and 13 charges. For the town in January, we also provided an additional 47 and a half hours of additional
Very
service.
busy in a town.
Very busy.
You said 47 and a half.
Yes. Yep.
And can you talk about those and how they're specifically grant related so the
Oh, yeah.
trustees and the public understand the nuances, so it doesn't seem like, so if you're a village taxpayer and you're watching this, you're like, wow, that's, we're throwing an awful lot of free at the town.
That includes, like, when the last time I was in there with you guys, Bojan was there, that he's doing governor's highway safety, right? So that's included in that 47 hours
I
that,
believe it is, yes.
Governor's Highway
Yeah, there's
Safety.
the Governor's Highway Safety, and the other grant detail that we do is Stone Garden.
With the thought process of all traffic enforcement benefits the entire town and village of Swanton,
Yes.
regardless of where it occurs.
I would, any traffic enforcement regardless of where the money comes from is a net benefit to village and town.
When you're doing Stone Garden, though, there's less like traffic enforcement in the village, correct? Because you're mostly out towards,
We would be in the border areas,
right, Highgate, St. Armand's Road.
Yes.
That area.
Alberg.
Okay.
And any traffic enforcement related to that would be, out-of-state plates
That is, yeah,
in areas where local traffic is usually the only thing that you should see.
right, yeah.
Nothing usually happens in the village.
Or like rental cars. kind of
Yeah, that
thing.
too. That's actually a good point. If something like a rental car that BP was looking for and we had our own reasonable suspicion to stop the vehicle, it could take place within the village.
Oh, okay.
Because, are you familiar with where the Border Patrol station is?
Yeah.
It's on Raven. So like anywhere from Morse's Line, technically over to Champlain, New York, they can stop within 100 miles of the border. So anything in that region for the operation, if we had PC, we could stop. But we're not specifically patrolling necessarily in the village during Stone Garden hours. 'Cause
But
it's just-
there's special incidents that happen
Yeah,
sometimes.
there could be special times where it would leak into the village. Anything else? All right, I can give you the granular breakdown of those incidents for the town as well. Would you like to hear about those? Yes?
Why not?
46 directed patrols, 61 traffic stops. Property watch, we had 7 incidents, 5 suspicious person circumstances, 4 DLSs, 4 motor vehicle complaints, and then a couple crashes and some thefts. Hard to tell what's going on there. So that was January of the town. Okay.
Fair enough.
Village for February. 127 incidents, 30 traffic stops. That gave us 8 tickets and 34 warnings. We had 6 arrests and 7 charges in the village. And then the breakdown of the most highest incident types, I'm losing language here. 30 traffic stops, like I said, from the incidents. We had 10 suspicious persons, that could be anything. 8 family fights, domestics, citizen assist 7, welfare check 6, 6 threatening cases, 5 citizen disputes, alarms, those are common. Directed patrols in the village, we had 4, and then community outreach, we had 4.
So, Soren, I noticed that the traffic is increasing, the traffic stops are increasing. Is that because of Governor's Highway Safety, or is that because of our latest hire, who seems to like that?
Both. Yeah, we have a significant increase in traffic enforcement with our new hire, Officer Sad, that came from the sheriff's office. Absolutely loves doing traffic, and good for him. I'm glad he does. And Officer Boyan from DLC is a part-time officer with us and is doing Governor's Highway Safety
Pretty
weekly,
regularly.
Pretty regularly, and Officer Sad does Governor's Highway Safety a lot of times before shift.
Okay,
And days off as
pre-shift.
well, so
Okay.
we're getting a lot of just on-duty traffic enforcement increase and a lot of Governor's Highway Safety motor vehicle enforcement as well.
Okay.
So it's like a two-tier
Two-tier.
increase.
Good, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions about village numbers, stats for February? No?
No, it's pretty good.
Cool. Town. For February, 162 incidents, 82 motor vehicle stops, which gave us 33 tickets and 74 warnings. In the town for February, we had 3 arrests, 14 charges, and that was across 3 people. And in February, we provided an additional 46.75 additional hours of service. We had 34 directed patrols of those incidents, 82 stops, 11 property watches, 5 suspicious, 3 crashes, and then a couple of other things in here like family fights, citizens assist, just normal shift things. Low numbers on those. And that was for February in the town. Questions there?
No, other than the fact that definitely for 10 hours of coverage, it's very busy compared to the village, it's 20. in town.
Yes, it is. It's going to continue to get busier as the weather improves as well. And I have, if you don't have any questions, I've got one other thing for you, which is this is a AUSA press release regarding the homicide on First Street. One of the defendants, Dominique Troop, was sentenced federally for that case for 240 months. So that's, what, 24, I can't do math in my head, 24 years, 20 years? Long time. He was charged, like I said, federally for that. And he was found guilty of the attempted robbery and the firearms-related crimes. So he is not going to be problem in Swanton for a very long time. And I've got this with me if you want a copy of it. I'd be happy to make you one, but
I do.
you do, Diane?
Thanks.
Okay. But it's a good outcome for that incident.
This could be a-
And that was for the incident a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
45 First Street.
45 First Street, yep. I can't remember what year that, 22, 23?
22.
22. That was for that homicide.
22?
22.
Or 23? It's been that long, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Takes a long time. Justice, she be slow, but she comes eventually.
Eventually, yeah, you can't get away.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, 240 months. Following a 4-year term of supervised release, so that's the end of that.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be minimally yet fully staffed?
It's interesting. It's good. The staffing is like improving. We could obviously like round out night shift because a single vacancy obviously cascades into.
You have an opening in July.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
As soon as MDU takes over responsibility
Right.
for
Correct.
area.
Yep.
So any improvement's improvement, but having improved staff is always a good thing. And, you know, more people means that we can do more things, which means that we can offer more lateral stuff for people to keep them interested. And I really don't have any interest in losing anyone that we have currently because it's a good group of people, so
And more
For the
people is
busy season.
officer safety,
100%.
you know, so I think that's also something that needs to be looked at, officer safety.
It doesn't happen often, but like a single sick out or training or vacation, you could have an officer working for a town and village alone.
Mhm.
And that's a lot for, it's what, 61.5 square miles?
Mhm.
Big area.
And you can't necessarily guarantee anyone's gonna be anywhere near you.
Right.
Process question for the trustees. We've done this for quite a while now. As a reminder, I send them to you all electronically, so you have them, you can review them, answer any questions, and I've tried to cut down on
Yes.
killing trees. So I make one copy for reference if anybody needs it during the meeting. And, but is that okay? That's working for, that's
Yeah.
working for everybody? Okay.
Where did you send it?
I send it
trustee
to
email.
all of you together in the email group.
Oh,
Just
Okay.
back, same location Diane sends it to, but that comes from me.
okay.
Just background
Well,
material.
I'll do better, Bill, because I've got it on my phone now, not.
He sent them on the 13th.
Okay. I'm just checking. If it doesn't work and you want copies, then we can make copies, but you have it right there.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
sorry about that.
Let the record reflect that I was not in any way suggesting that trustee Spear needs to up his electronic game. Okay?
No. Look at that list all there.
Yeah.
I get 1,000 emails a day, so I feel for you. I get it. All right, you guys have any questions?
Nothing else.
Nothing else?
No.
All right,
All right.
thanks.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'll leave that copy for you,
Over on
Diane.
my desk.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You
Thanks.
too.
Have a good night.
Have a good evening.
Be
Thank you
safe.
very much. Number 9, speaking about saving trees, appoint Frank Shumway Village Tree Warden for 2026.
You still want it?
I don't know.
I think that he,
The town just appointed him.
I was gonna say, I think the town
yeah.
appointed him, so I think we're safe, so. I'll move that we appoint Frank Shumway for Village Tree Warden for 2026.
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second to appoint Frank Shumway Village Tree Warden for 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Frank Shumway. Number 10, appoint village representatives to Northwest Regional Planning Commission for March 2026 through March 2027.
So currently it's Heidi and trustee Broderick.
Yeah.
who had that position before he became a trustee.
All right, so I'll move that we appoint the same two individuals.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a first and a second to appoint the same trustees and representatives for the for Northwest Regional Planning Commission for March 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you very much once again.
Yay.
Number 11, appoint village representative and alternate to the Northwest Regional Regional Planning Commission Transportation Advisory Committee, TAC, for March 2026 through March 2027.
So for last year, Heidi was the primary and I served as the secondary, and we both would be more than happy to continue in those roles.
Okay, I'll make a motion to reappoint them.
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and a second to appoint the same individuals for the Transportation Advisory Committee, TAC, for March 2026 through March 2027. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, and thank you once again. 12, discuss and approve Swanton Village water and sewer rates. Boy. Oh, look at the big sheet.
It's much easier to read.
Wow, we get a photocopy that prints out that big.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Lynn.
So, back when we adopted budgets, the end of January, the board wanted to hold off on, looking at the rates. So this is what the rates currently are for water and sewer versus, what they should go to, for 2026. So in the columns, there's a current, a proposed, and then the increase. The boxes on the left are village, the boxes on the right are town. For water, remember, there's differential rates, so the town's ratepayers pay double what the village does. And for sewer rates, there's no differential rates, so it doesn't matter where you live, you pay the same rate.
Why does the town pay double? Was there a reason behind that? I
It's,
don't think.
so it was been that way since before I got here.
Okay.
And the theory that I was always told is because the village taxpayers are the ones that are holding that debt.
Okay.
And are responsible, if the village doesn't pay the debt,
Uh-huh.
it's backed by the full faith and credit of the village property owners.
Okay.
The sewer used to be differential, I've been told,
Yep.
and it had to go, they got a USDA bond at one point in time before I was here, and USDA made them levelize the rates.
Okay. And they've been leveled ever
And they've been
since.
levelized
Well,
ever
something to
since.
do with
Yep.
stormwater.
So,
So,
once again, for the public out there, it's just the water is more expensive for the town
Right,
individuals
right.
versus the village. And sewer rates are the same,
No matter where you
no
live,
matter where you go.
based on your customer class between residential, commercial, and industrial.
And that's for Highgate and everywhere else.
Yeah, so any place outside of the village. So people on the new Highgate water line, they're gonna pay what the town of Swanton people pay.
And, okay, yes. For the water and the sewer would be the same.
Right.
Okay.
The other thing that I looked at that we haven't done in a long time is we've never changed the connection fees. I don't know if there's any flavor to do that, but on that schedule, it also shows what our connection fees are currently. That's something that if we don't wanna change them, we don't, but they have not been changed in a very long time.
do you feel like that's necessary?
So a connection fee would be like anytime somebody adds a line. So if there's a housing development that goes in, for each house, they would pay, if they're in the village, they'd pay the $750.
Right, and if they're in the town, they pay the 1,500.
Right. So, I don't know, it's been a long time since that's been adjusted.
We are low there. It's,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, who's the responsible party for connecting?
The property.
homeowner.
Yeah, the property owner.
Homeowner.
Developer.
Okay.
As an example, Elberg, if you signed up in advance of the new water line, $1,500. If you sign up after that period expired, which is long gone, 2,500 per hookup.
Plus, if wondering if not the connection fee in the village moves to 15, and then in the town, it moves to the 2,000. Do you know what I'm saying? And then this should take a jump from 3 to, I don't know, 4 or 5, 4,500?
For commercial,
Yeah, for commercial.
industrial, are the same for the town.
And then the connection, if we're making the connection fee in the village at 15,
Yeah.
then we should probably make the commercial connection fee. I don't know, what do you think, Neil?
I think at this point, if we're asking for a rate increase, we ought to just go with that and forgive the hookup increase.
All right.
Give them a chance
So
to
it's okay.
breathe. No.
Yeah,
And they're very minimal, there's probably 1 or 2 a year, if
Yeah,
that.
there's not many.
It's
Right.
just new development.
Okay.
wanna, yeah.
Can
Pivoted
I
business.
ask about this rate increase? Now this is proposed, correct?
Right.
So from 23.16 to 31.77, for an $8.61 increase. The rate per gallon's is fine. It's this customer charge that I'm concerned about, because that just seems like a large jump. Is there any wiggle room to bring that down a little bit?
We can't pay our bills.
Okay, that's.
So
I'm
right
just-
now, because we delayed it, this will be for consumption in May, billed in June. So we're 6 months into our budget at that point, where normally we are already collecting it, because we'll do it for consumption in March, billed in April. So really, when I re-looked at these.
These are the lowest
I-
you can go.
I should have increased them again, because we still have to collect the same amount of revenue, but I
Okay.
didn't adjust them because I didn't wanna hit the people any harder than we are.
No.
And the way I look at what's, variable and what's fixed, the fixed is your customer charge, so I look at that as what has to be paid no matter what. So like, you're always gonna have your property insurance and an operator, and so that's where we kind of try to cover the fixed costs.
So the fixed cost is the customer charge.
Yeah.
Just so I'm tracking what you're
Yeah.
saying. So
It's the basic
these
service.
fixed charges are what covers our 2 operators at the plant.
Yes, so it's and I did a percentage a long time ago to figure that, and I think it's like 65-35 is the split. It's like what has to get paid, whether they treat 1 gallon of water or sewer
Right,
or millions.
okay.
So like chemicals would be more of a variable cost.
Right, which that falls in the rates per gallon
Right.
rate that we're looking at. Which across the board is a $1.56 increase, proposed increase.
And then when we
For
did,
the village, the town's obviously is more.
right,
that.
But these customer charges based on commercial and industrial and residential, that's it. There's no, this is the lowest we can go and still make our payments.
that's what I feel. And way back when we restructured, I think it was like 2012, we restructured how our rates were done, and we had Aldrich and Elliott help us back then. And what they did was so if you'll notice, like, the residential water and then the commercial the customer charge is double.
Right,
So they're looking at as equivalent users, so an equivalent user would be like 1 household, and they considered like a commercial business to be 2 equivalent users,
okay, and then the industrial is
Is
3,
4, because
4,
it
'cause they
doubles
doubles
each
again.
time.
okay. When was the last time we raised rates?
2020, I look at it every year, and we haven't had to raise them. So 2023, or 24, we probably adjusted. I haven't adjusted the customer charge in a few years, but I have adjusted the variable, the per gallon.
Per gallon, okay.
Yeah.
So then I guess if, I know you look at it every year because you looked at it last year and we talked about putting it
And,
off.
yeah, and last year we chose not to.
Right, we talked about last year, we chose not to because we knew that there was gonna be an increase on the electric, so we
And
were,
then, right,
we
and
were
then
like, we'll,
we've got,
we'll wait.
so in the water, the pipe, you know, the river crossing bond is in there now.
Right,
And then for the sewer,
that's what I was gonna ask you,
the
what, that's
plant
what's
bond,
causing.
so the plant bond for sewer is actually due January 1, 2027. But they have to receive it in 2026 because the due date is on a holiday.
Okay,
So we're collecting in our rates now for that first bond payment.
okay, so that's what, I guess that's what I was asking is when we, I know when we looked at it last year and we put it off, we said that it was like, it was a small jump.
Yeah.
And now it's like doubled that, and I was just wondering what caused the double?
Be the debt in
Okay,
both funds.
so the debt for the water line and then the debt for the
For the sewer
sewer
plant.
plant.
Because even though the
revamp.
sewer plant's not finished yet, like it will be finished, in a few months, hopefully.
Yep,
We have to make that first bond payment at the end of this year.
okay,
Cause I already asked them, like the bond payment was actually due earlier in the year. And I was like, it's supposed to be within a year of the project completion or substantial completion. So at the end of last year, when we knew we weren't gonna hit the end of the 2025 substantial completion, I contacted the state and said, is there any way I can push the debt off? And they told me the only way, longest they would go is January 1 of 27.
and then, just looking at the sewer rates and noticing the discrepancy between the two of them and knowing that the sewer plant bond was bigger than the water crossing bond, is it because there's more chemicals used at the water plant than the sewer plant?
The sewer plant actually needed even more of a rate increase, but they've still got some money in the bank, so I didn't increase the rates as much as I should have
Okay,
in the sewer.
so this is, with this increase proposed, okay, so just so we're talking round
Yep.
numbers, okay, so currently it's, village customers $37.83.
Yep.
Proposed increase of $45.40, or proposed rate would be $45.40, an increase of $7.51, and then because we're water in, water out, right, it's, $4.66 right now per 1,000 gallons, proposed to be $5.60 with an increase of 93 cents. This will be enough to get us through till next year, then relook at this
We'll look
again?
at it again in January of next year,
Okay,
but they still have, some money in the bank. So I was comfortable not increasing it as much as what paper showed we needed to increase it.
okay.
So potentially next year, get a rate increase.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'd like to get back to the point where we can raise it a couple percent a year. But for a while there, they both had substantial
Do you know
reserves.
when the last time we raised the sewer was? Same time?
It's been a little while. for
So
sewer.
about 2023?
It would have been probably at least then. It's been a couple of years for both of them.
Okay.
And then this is, this would be the notice that would go out to customers. Whatever we just, you know, ends up being on the final numbers, but, because we would have to notice them, that their rates were gonna be increased.
I'm just really kind of, the larger increase in the water, that $8.61, that's, I don't know, I'm not feeling good about that. I know we need it, but I'm not feeling great about it.
Oh, for the village,
Yeah,
the town, 1724.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, I know the 17, I mean, I don't feel great about that 1724, but, you know,
Yeah, It's a good increase, that's for sure.
But I need to make sure that, you know, well, we all need to make sure it's our fiduciary duty to make sure that the water department stays solvent and can pay the bills. So, I mean, if there's no wiggle room to decrease that, then I don't feel like we have an option really
Yeah,
at
I mean,
hand.
this makes it so, well, because we've delayed it once, it makes it tighter. But what I had looked at is the water is really at that point where they're out of money pretty much, you know? And so we've gotta do something, and then hopefully going forward, you know, the rates will kind of stabilize, and maybe we only have to do a little tiny bump every year,
Right.
and to kind of keep them up with inflation.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem is last year we put it off and we probably should have given it a tiny bump. And then in the successive years before, there should have been like tiny cost of living bumps that didn't happen. So that's why right now we're facing a giant bump, because every year there was that cost of living bump that wasn't
Well, and
accrued into
20
the thing.
And the bond payment for the water line crossing, you know, like that hit in 25.
Yeah.
And we hadn't had that yet,
Right.
you know, so that is something different than what we had the last time prior to looking at the rates in the 25 budget cycle.
Right.
We didn't have that in 24 or 23,
Right.
so,
Yeah, all the significant improvements and repairs are all coming in at the same time.
right, exactly. And everything's going up,
But
you know.
just to remind people out there, though, that a significant part of both of these improvements were covered by huge grants.
So water got about $1 million grant, that helped defray some of the bond cost. Sewer has got,
5.6 or whatever it is.
that bond, you know, we got an $800,000 grant. And then, trying to think, there is some loan forgiveness on that. I
Like a
believe.
million
Yeah, I was gonna
loan
say, I
forgiveness.
mean, even when we get,
Yeah,
when we get grants, we still have a match. Bonds, we have to pay.
We have the
So,
difference,
I mean,
yeah.
it's,
Yeah. Yep.
you get a little bit of, you know,
there was a lot of relief for
Money.
both projects. At the end of the day, we didn't make increases with that, and at that time, during those few year periods, that benefited our ratepayers. And now, to pay the bills and to do the repairs that are necessary, this is the required increase.
Right, and in that, and in the water numbers is also those 2 water lines that are slated to be replaced this year.
oh, that's right.
Provided we
that's-
can do them for 200,000 combined. Remains to be determined.
Okay.
What is that, the Jonathan?
Dewey and Gallup.
Dewey and
Dewey and
Gallup.
Gallup.
Dewey will self-perform. Gallup is so deep and complicated with gas lines kind of interwoven and through the whole line that we're going to engineer that and
We need help.
do an RFP and hope that we get a competitive bid.
But those temporary fixes are bleeding us now for the
They
last couple of
certainly
years.
are.
Yeah, it's not great news, folks, but gotta do it.
So basically, this increase is covering what we've already committed to,
Right,
that the voters helped us with.
yep,
And this is covering all the major improvements that we're having to our our 2 different
I
systems.
don't know that I would say all.
not all, but what we've done so
majority.
far,
A majority.
Yeah,
yeah.
but this is something that doesn't show up on here is how much more it would have cost if we didn't get the grants.
Right,
Correct.
right,
That's what
and
I-
we know that there's more water lines and sewer lines that need
Right.
to be, have attention and
Right.
major
I mean,
repairs.
we have an aging water system
Just-
that is gonna require more repairs at a later date. And, I mean, Dewey and Gallup are the priority right now, but they're not the only.
Right, and we've
portion.
done a fair amount through bonds,
Yeah.
cause, you know, like years ago, we did the water plant, and then we did the transmission line from the reservoir, and then we did some streets here in the village, all with bonds. And then we did a short stretch, 3 or 5 years ago, we did a short one. And then now we'll do Dewey and Gallup this year. So, we're pecking them off
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just water, like sewer, we haven't really touched anything for sewer since the CSO project,
Which was,
before I got here, 2004, I got here, so.
This is in the 90s.
In the
Stormwater
nineties,
separation.
yeah. But every community that has infrastructure for water and sewer is facing the same problems we are.
yeah.
Water and sewer plants and infrastructure was put in many years ago, and it's all past its useful life at this point, and
So I'll make a motion that we approve the proposed water and sewer rate increases without changing the connecting fee for any of them, but just approve the water and sewer rate increases.
I would second that motion.
All right, we have a first and a second to approve the water and sewer rate increases and leave connection fees as historically as they are. Any further discussion?
I do have a question. What's the percent increase for customers?
I don't have it on this, it's a lot.
Just like people to know what, they might not have the math right in front of them right now, but
27, wasn't it?
Like 37% for the customer charge for residential.
okay.
37?
Yeah, and then. Yeah, 37.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
And that's kind of the same thing for the town too, right? Based on
Yeah.
their formula. And that's
A
water and
lot,
sewer.
a lot higher than what I had hoped, so.
Is sewer a little lower? or-
We gotta pay the bills, Lenny.
Sewer was, cause I didn't,
Sewer's like,
I feel like that one was more, but,
Is it 31?
no, that one's 20,
37?
20%?
20% for sewer.
Okay.
37 or 27?
37 for
37
water.
for water,
Yep.
20 for sewer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody out there listening, that'll be a 30% increase for water rates and 20% increase for sewer rates.
37
37.
37 for
on
water.
water.
Oh, did I say the opposite?
You
You
said
said
30.
30.
Oh, 37.
You wrote it down.
I wrote it down. Mispronounced it. Okay, all in favor?
right?
Motion carried. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Number 13, discuss and approve Abenaki Heritage Fest camping and ceremonial fire for May 2026.
Okay, so the Abenaki of the Missisquoi will be holding their annual Heritage Festival on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of May at the Rec. They would like to be able to have camping on site like they've had in the past for people who come out of town, like their vendors from out of town. And then they'd like to light the ceremonial fire on the 22nd and have it burn until the 24th. And they will have a fire keeper, so they will have somebody there for safety purposes.
Is that earlier this year?
It is because the Memorial Day is on the 25th, just the way that it falls, and they always do it the weekend following Memorial Day.
Is this all at the ball field?
Yeah,
area?
yeah, the lower rec field.
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason I thought that was more in the middle of summer.
No,
Do we need to make a motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
folks.
All right, I'll make the motion that we approve the Abenaki Heritage Fest camping and ceremonial fire for May 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of 2026.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a first and a second to approve the Abenaki Heritage Fest camping and ceremonial fire for May 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Motion carried. Number 14, coin drop request from Siskoy Valley FFA students for May 2026, Abenaki Food Pantry for June 2026, Swanton Fire Department for August 2026, and Swanton Fire Ladies Auxiliary for September 2026.
Is this, no, wait, is this all that we allow, or is there like 1 month left?
July and
2 months left.
October,
You have
2
6
months.
months, May
Okay,
through October.
July and October.
So still a spot for July and October.
Just one a month, right?
Yep.
Make a motion?
I move that we approve the requests of Missisquoi Valley FFA, the Abenaki Food Pantry, Swanton Fire Department, and the Swanton Fire Ladies Auxiliary for coin drops.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a first and a second for the coin drop request from Siskoy Valley FFA students for May 2026, Abenaki Food Pantry for June 2026, Swan Fire Department for August 2026, Swan Fire Ladies Auxiliary for September 2026. Any further discussion about the coin drops?
Yeah. Don't we have to make sure they have insurance or whatever?
Yeah, there's certificate of
So,
liability. Yeah, I'll get all
Check that
that.
out before.
Yeah,
they
they
get
give it to
approved.
me out beforehand.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.
Wait a minute,
That was 3-0. Yes?
nay,
No, did anybody vote nay?
Oh,
no,
Adam's
because
not here.
I'm just saying, it's the first time since I've been here that unanimous motion. Wow,
I was not-
in that regard. Okay.
Okay, moving right along. Number 16, discuss and approve new website design for.
15.
Oh, 15, I'm sorry about that. Review and acknowledge VHCB grant agreement, easement for the renovation of the Abenaki headquarters and the food pantry.
Do you want it, or would you like me?
Go ahead.
So this is just a letter from Maquambay and Missisquoi, and it's simply when they get funding, this is essentially, as a condition of the grant, Maquambay has conveyed a historic preservation easement to the Vermont Housing Conservation Board. So because we are involved, it simply has us acknowledge that they are in such easement. No action required, it's just a letter to us, no motion required, it's just for your awareness. Yep,
we have been acknowledged.
right, I can't imagine.
Just
we
an
won't even
acknowledgement.
start.
Haven't they?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've acknowledged. Yes.
Okay, we acknowledge it.
Acknowledge. See the
Acknowledge.
trucks out there, the renovations are going on, all good. Number 16, discuss and approve new website design for EcoPixel?
EcoPixel, yeah.
EcoPixel?
Did you all get the copy of the,
Website design.
yeah, the website? Did you all see it?
Better I sent it to y'all.
Yeah. So that is what, Nicole, Earl, and I've been working on, well, and Christina, with EcoPixel. And that's, we just added, the last thing we added was that little, tab for the economic development. So they just would like, the board's blessing that that we like it, that we don't have any changes, and if you do have changes, let me know so I can let, what's his name know.
I forget his name.
You know his name.
Yeah, I do, but I don't
Paul.
have it.
Paul,
Paul, yes,
that's
thank
it.
you.
The guy.
Guy, Paul.
Yeah.
Who is, we've discussed this in the past, and I think the last couple upgrades, the town
Yes, this is
has
still
utilized
under,
their funding
this is-
because it
yes.
comes from all
Yes.
taxpayer money.
yeah, this
Okay.
is still under town funding. This is still under, these changes that we've been making as part of the money that's been set aside for Promote Swanton. And so that's where the funds are coming from. So, I mean, so technically this, we're not as a entity paying for any of these upgrades, but they still want our, like, yeah, we like it, or no, we don't, so, yeah,
Yeah, we do.
we do,
Yeah.
we do, okay.
So I had a quick question though, because I
Yeah.
watched the town meeting and they talked about, this has been ongoing since October of last year, correct? Was it just, and it sounded like a staffing issue for getting the website kind of rolled out and finalized, kind of?
Well, so because it's a joint website,
Right.
there's only so many people from the town and the village who are allowed access. I think it's 2 per. Did I have that right?
I don't know
Do it.
what the limitations are.
From what I understood from
Could be.
Christina,
Yeah.
is that here in the village, you and Diane
Oh,
are
God, it's not me.
allowed.
No, it's Liz and me, but.
Liz and you?
It's you?
It's you.
And I've got access to it also.
And then at the town level, it's Christina
And Brian.
and Brian. And so a lot of the changes that need to have been made, as such as making new pages and making, moving things around, adding pictures and stuff, it was too much to put on Diane with her workload and the stuff that's going on personally for her. And then also, it was out of the depths of the 2 individuals at the town. So that's why we reached out to Paul and we were like, these are our ideas. Can you help us make them a reality? And then what he's able to do is, once he gets the pages built, he can talk to Christina and she can finesse them after they do a Zoom and he shows her what to do, and then she's able to like add pictures and stuff. But a lot of the things that we had wanted were like pictures to change with the season, and when you get to the homepage to have those buttons down at the bottom that was like a quick jump to like stay, eat,
specific.
play, economic development, and then just bringing in like specifically bringing in that new branding guide and the colors from the branding guide onto the webpage, and just making it easier for people to kind of like travel on. But even still, with everything, you see the picture, the letter from McQuam said to Dave at 1 Academy Street instead of here. So people are still kind of confused about what is what and who is who. So I think we at least have a little more education to do as far as the village and the town and the responsibilities.
And too, with the website, you're having to build it for a web-based computer as well as phones?
Phone, yes,
And
computers,
that's
laptops,
complex, so-
phones, yep.
So, okay. No, that's good.
And
I just-
eventually, we're gonna have QR codes
Okay,
and have them in, shops can put them in their windows and stuff, but, some of the stuff for Promote Swanton, we're kind of rolling out
same.
slow.
Okay. Well, thank you.
So we need to make a motion.
Sure, I'll make a motion, we approve the new website design for EcoPixel.
I will second.
All right, we have a first and a second to approve the new website design for EcoPixel. Any further discussion? All in
Yes.
favor?
Oh, no, further discussion. Question for Susie.
Yes,
Is this is the same project that Earl is working on?
Yeah, so, this is just part of the Promote Swanton, but this was the redevelopment of the website. And then there's the part where he wants
Signs.
wayfinding signs, which is also the wayfinding signs, directing people to our downtown and the various businesses. That's part of the package in the Promote Swanton budget that the town passed on town meeting day. And then also with the wayfinding signs and being able to locate businesses in the downtown, that's where he wants him and Brian, you and Bill, to go with him out to the businesses to discuss
if he talked to
the
you, but he's talked to me.
streetscapes and
He
the,
hasn't, but
Yeah, he's talked to me, so.
yeah, to
That's
go
another
out
thing
and,
that's taken a little while longer.
yeah, to talk
So-
about the streetscapes
so,
and stuff
okay.
and the projects that we as a board have in store. And I did let Earl know that, if he was bringing you, I couldn't go, so he had to pick one of us and he
Yeah.
picked you, so.
we can both go if we warn it, but
Yeah,
It does add a layer. A lot of complexities on everything we have going. I know
Yeah.
this board knows that, but it's really important that that's delivered seamlessly to the public with
Right.
no misinformation.
Right, and that's why I thought it was important for you and Neil to go, and which is why I said Neil was the better option, because Neil has, he has relationships with a lot of the business folks downtown, being a business owner himself, and it just made, to me, the most sense for him to go.
Yeah, yeah, and Earl has been in touch with me. He
Yeah.
hasn't been back in touch with me, but
Yeah.
he's been in touch with me. We have a plan, so.
Okay.
Okay, we can vote now.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Number 17, Ormany Croft Hydroelectric Generating Facility dam repair update.
Okay, so we, everyone that lives here knows we had some high water there for a little while, and pretty lucky, all things considered. So we activated our EAP, Emergency Action Plan, for about a 48-hour period, 4:30 on March 9th through 5:00 PM on March 11th. Again, at one point, if the ice did not give below the powerhouse, it was 7 or 8 feet below the window outside of Unit 1. And if it didn't let go, we were gonna get iced out. But there's been, I've only been here a few years, it would have been my first time, but there's been ice in that powerhouse before.
Yeah.
So, but it's not, would not have been good. The request for qualification process for the alternatives assessment, there's been some delays, but rightfully so. It's a complicated process with legal review. That final submission should go out tomorrow after our 10:30 call, I think it is, with Celeste Fay, our vendor, and our FERC attorney. That'll go to the top 3. Again, they'll have a certain amount of time. We think we can still turn it around in time for you to hear pretty comprehensive alternatives analysis when they come in to present at our next meeting, April 13th. So
Is the FERC attorney coming in with Celeste?
he is.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he'll have some things for us in executive session, but
Yep.
all of this stuff will be in open session.
Right.
So that's, again, we should be, we're making good time. Those 3 firms are all highly respected firms, and they know what they have to do, so the turnaround should be pretty quick. Again, it's concept only. And very rough, low percentage estimates. In other words, 15% certainty. That's about all you're gonna get when you're asking them to do this part for free. This is, and then when we get to the point where we're ready to select one, we'll write up a legal contract, and then they'll have a direction, not only from what we're trying to do internally, but from the board. So that's gonna be an important discussion. Operationally, essentially, we can summarize it by saying we've consistently, over the last several days, been producing slightly more than 3 megawatts, which, depending on the load and the time of day and the temperature and any other conditions that impact power load, we're meeting between 40 and 50% of our load at certain times of the day. Not during peak times, but it's better than where we were. That is allowing us for the moment to not have to talk about emergency power supplies. Remember, we had to buy already a long-term contract for power supply for the next couple of years while we know we're gonna be in this state. You always try to get between 95 and 105% of coverage, and again, 100% renewable, so we don't have to pay tier 2 and tier 4 credits. So we're hopeful that if we can produce at least this during peak times, we'll be okay. So going down the units, starting just at the top of the dam, our baby unit, Unit 5, is operating well. Now that the tail race is going down to the pond level,
It's back on.
it's back on and has been and operating at 100%. It's finicky, but you gotta rake a lot, you gotta remove the ice. The ice is no longer a problem. The ice is essentially gone, but it's a tremendous amount of debris based on the new normal. Unit 1 down below is just a workhorse, 90%, 85%, no problem. And 85% technically, production-wise, is the sweet spot. That delivers your 1 megawatt per unit. So that's working well. Unit 2, same story. That's probably not gonna change for the foreseeable future. If you recall, there's an issue with vibration in the shaft above 60%, but let's just talk factually, you can't turn it on anyway because the exciter burned up. So because that's a 1 megawatt unit, that's gonna wait. Unit 3, with the repairs that they did, it's working like a top. It's performing 100% expectations, and we're very fortunate because when we move on to Unit 4, it has just been troubleshooting on a daily basis, to include this last Sunday where we thought we had it. We're losing a lot of money each day that Unit 4 is not on, when water's pouring over like that.
Is that the one that's?
Closest to the stairs as you come down, the 5 megawatt unit. So it's our biggest unit. We would not have enough water with the tail race now to maximize all of those units on, even if 2 wasn't available. But we would be better off. We would be over 5 megawatts. So we prioritize that thing every day. Sunday, literally, it was the electrical. Thought they had it, didn't. Today, it was the mechanical folks. I think we've shorn off 9 pins that hook that attach the wiki gates, so on top of the unit. I'd have to show you a picture in the last 48 hours. So it keeps happening. It did spin for Dan had just come in, Dan Chevalier, and it had spun. So we're close, but there's no way to control the unit right now. So it's probably back to electrical. So those experts will be back, and it sounds like a lot. We're chasing our tails, and that's partially true. But at the end of the day, depending on all the factors that are involved with hydro and penstock restrictions, with that unit being off, we estimate that costs us between $10,000 and $15,000 a day.
A day.
A day. Yep. That's the rough estimate. Now, if the other 3 are working optimally, it's far less than that. But if we could use all of them and we're missing that unit, that's what it's costing us. So that's why we're making it such a priority. So kudos again. Dan Chevalier and his team are living in a troubled world, and they're working a lot of overtime. And I know it's if it's keeping me up at night, and I'm there from a distance. I'm there every day, but I'm there from a distance. Those guys, it's kudos, because they are really doing a good job with trying to get this thing back on track.
Do we have plant shutdown scheduled for April, May?
No, we have plant shut down, hopefully not until summer. Now, that could all change if we keep doing the troubleshooting, and Unit 4 can only be diagnosed by getting a visual look,
That we shut it down?
and we have to shut it down. But we won't shut down if we're gonna lose, right? It's cost benefit analysis. To shut down to try to gain just 1 megawatt but lose for 3 days, 3 to 4 megawatts, the math doesn't add up. So it really depends on a number of factors. But very impressed by the experts that we have lined up now that are in there every day. They are hands-on and responsive, and they want to
He
get
had a lot
to
of
it.
good, he has a lot of good things to say about Celeste.
Really, just well, even Fairbanks Mills, and then ETS. So those are the mechanical and electrical engineers that are there. When I say they're taking ownership, they want to fix this thing. They really are wrapping their hands around it. So
Much appreciated.
it's been frustrating, but we are much better today than we were just a month and a half ago.
Yep, each day gets
Okay.
better, right?
Yep, it does. That's enough on that, I think.
Well, don't go too far. Village manager update.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna bounce all over the place here. The first thing that we want to get ahead of is we have VEPSA filed on our behalf for a rate increase for the electric department. Settled on 30.28%?
30.28.
Yeah, 30.28%. So remember, the motion was not to exceed 31%. We want to get ahead of it. Our mailers will start
That's the
tomorrow for
These are
that
the mailers.
grouping. We want to post what you're getting right now on social media first thing in the morning. So our website and our Facebook page.
Good.
That notice is mandatory to go out to all the customers. We'll start with the billing that goes out this week, which is cycle 3.
You got this?
So really, just looking for some acknowledgement that we don't need a motion or anything. We just want to make sure you're on board with that. And again, for those that are watching at home, those that are gonna comment, the vast majority of this request, and it remains a request, is based upon the fact that we lost our rubber dam last June. And we are simply purchasing power supply to replace that load that we can no longer generate through hydroelectricity. That is literally the biggest, like 26-ish% of that, Lynn, I think, somewhere around there.
Closer
is
to
our
like 28.
Power supply, 20, well, it's even worse then, so.
28% was the loss from last year,
Yep.
which was majority of that was
Right.
the power supply.
And it truly is in the Public Utility Commission's hands, and this will take them a while to figure out. But it will be clear as to when we will start billing, and we have no choice, we have to pay the bills.
And it's 6 to 8 months roughly.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what they're guessing,
Yeah.
7 to 8 months, because they're gonna do an investigation, because it is a full-blown rate case. So it'll take them a while, because there'll be testimony, there'll be back and forth, they'll comment, they'll get into the nitty-gritty and make us prove why we need what we say we need.
Yep.
So it's pretty intensive what they go through, they scrutinize them pretty good.
And they'll be building their case based on 2026, what our,
So it's based on our
Wow.
2025 audited financial statements, plus known and measurable changes.
Okay.
So any increases or decreases, so something that was a one-off expense or revenue in 2025, they take out of the equation. But they build in like any increases to salary or benefits or tree trimming or engineering, they look at all those adjustments. And I had to do a 5-year average on all of the operation, maintenance, A&G expenses, basically every expense. And what they'll do is they'll look at what the 5-year average is versus what we're asking. And if it's less than what the 5-year average is, then they're fine. If it's more, then they're gonna come back and say, well, prove to us why you need more than your 5-year average.
And we have a broken rubber bladder to show, it's pretty unique.
So like a good example is our electrical engineer retired in 2025. So now we're outsourcing engineering. So engineering has historically had very little for a line item of expense, and now it's a lot higher. But we swapped a salary benefit position for outsourcing. So that's the sort of detail that, we'll have to provide to them as they start asking the questions. So this would be for service rendered beginning May 1, and it will be starting to be billed June 1. And it'll be a surcharge, which I'm working with our software company to get that to show up on the bill.
so not until June 1st,
People actually see it in their bills
See it in
June
the bills.
1st. We have to provide this notice within the 30-day comment period. The department and the board have 30 days to decide whether or not they're gonna do an investigation. Like our rate case last year, for the 3%, they chose not to investigate and let pass after the 45 days. But because that was this little tiny, where we got in the statutes that we can do up to a 3%, whereas this one, because it's two factors. We haven't been in for a full-blown rate case in 10 years, and it's a full-blown rate case. So they usually investigate rate cases that are, whether we'd filed for half of this, it probably still would have been investigated.
That small one was mostly the PESPA, or was
The
cost of
3% one,
association was
that was, the 3% was basically just inflation, salary, benefits, power supply, transmission costs.
Lynn, can you remind me, residential demand, those are the ones who are metered because they are over a certain amount of kilowatt hours?
So residential demand is, they're over 1,800 kilowatts for 2 consecutive months, correct?
Three.
Or 3.
If
And
they average that in a 12-month
Yes.
rolling.
so
You said they
that,
average it in a 12-month
yeah, so
billing?
that's mostly gonna be your sugar makers, your farmers that are gonna hit that. A lot of your residential households don't hit 1,800 kilowatts unless they've got a heat pump, will do it. And then they have to be on our residential demand tariff until they get their average below 1,800 kilowatts.
So dingers on demand, would that be, obviously heat pumps, just red for the main heat source, but not the mini direct or ductless mini splits?
Anything that uses
Anything,
electricity.
Charging your cars, you name it, okay.
The rule of thumb has always been an average household uses 600 kilowatts. That's kind of gone by the wayside, I would say, now with a lot of people doing more electrification.
But no, we get 600 at my house because we sit in the dark. The TV's on, all the lights are off. I mean, don't turn the light on.
We got those air conditioners in the summertime.
But anyways, okay, so, and then commercial, and then large commercial.
So
Yeah,
large
that's all
commercial and demand, so industrial is gonna be anything that is served by has a three-phase service.
Oh, that's right, I talked to the boys about that, I know,
And
I
then
know
a
who those
large
are.
commercial is any commercial customer that uses over 10,000 kilowatts.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, just having the right to the three phases.
Yeah,
is a
so
huge feat.
a regular commercial customer that's a single-phase service that's under 10,000 kilowatts would just be what we consider a small commercial customer.
Right.
Which is the commercial service Schedule B.
Okay. Okay. Under. Okay. All right, and you said you wanted this to be a surcharge on the bill because that way if we don't get,
We have to show it as,
whole
we
third.
have to show it as a surcharge
uh-huh,
so that the customer can see it
right,
until it's approved.
and, right, and that's
So-
what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
and then that way if we don't get the, until 30.28%, you have to reimburse.
So if we get anything less than the 30.28%, the state will have us reimburse the customer, so then they would see a negative surcharge on their bill.
Okay,
And they give us, it varies, you negotiate it, and then it comes out in your proposal for decision, how, like, we would propose how we're gonna refund that back. And then customers that have left our service territory, from the time we start charging it until the rate case is finalized, we have to find those customers and refund them by check, the amount that was charged that we didn't
Overage,
get.
right.
Yeah.
all right, you said this was just FYI though, right, there's no,
Yeah, it's just wanna make sure you're comfortable knowing and being prepared for the fact that it will go on social media tomorrow
Yeah.
morning and it will start being mailed out as bill inserts tomorrow morning as well.
you have to keep the lights on.
Have to keep the lights on. Yep.
And we're not the only utility that's been in, like, everybody's either been in or going in.
And really, when you come down, I mean, not trying to make light of it, but still not paying the big two
Right.
prices.
No.
Right.
This rate
We're not,
increase will put us right about in the middle of,
We'd be, commensurate with Enosburg, correct?
Still under
I-
Enosburg.
yeah. We'll be close to them, but this
Close.
puts us in the middle of
The
the
pack.
pack.
Pittsburgh doesn't produce a lot of hydro.
No, they
So
they
they have
have,
to buy a
they
lot.
only, their hydro, they are at 0.9 megawatts for hydro.
That's what,
Regardless of what they produce, it was just
Right.
yeah.
where we're gonna end up in the pack kind of idea for people.
Yep.
Cool.
The failure of the rubber dam
Right, if not
changed our
for,
reality.
Yeah,
if not for the rubber dam loss, our rate case would have been around 5%.
oh, really?
Okay, we good on that one?
Good.
We are, thank you very much, Lynn, for all of this.
So this got, I think I'll get
Diane
Must be
put it on
because I-
for me,
Because
yeah.
I got the St. Albans
Oh,
message
yeah.
called right away. So if you've seen this, good, the last one. So this is a bit of relief. So the acre program, you've heard me talk about it here before, but now it goes into effect soon. So applications open April 7th. Applications go through directly to VEPSA. They do all the work. They determine your eligibility criteria. If you meet the criteria, it depends on where you live. So for our organization, we have 83 rebates that we can give. And we give the rebates, VEPSA reimburses us, but customers will get that are eligible, qualify, and get accepted, will save $29.55 a month on their electric bill. So it's a bit of relief. So that's out there, and I don't know if we're getting any calls already. I would think that
Yeah,
would be
we are.
pretty quick already. That's good. So, the only thing I would say is I don't know how many people are gonna apply, but when it fills up, it fills up. That's the cap.
We would wait list anybody after 83 customers.
So if you're hearing this and you have an interest, please go through the process quickly.
As a village trustee, I'm not gonna apply.
I don't even qualify, so.
Okay, all right. Good there? Good with that
Yes,
acre program?
yes,
yes.
Good program, okay. We'll go to electric. We sent 3 members to assist Green Mountain Power through mutual aid on March 17th. 2 of our members that same week, Paul and Nate, were at NEPA for training as part of their year 4 training program, their apprenticeship.
They're almost done, aren't they?
Oh, this is it? Year 4's?
They will
Yeah.
graduate in December,
Yeah.
early December.
Good for them.
NEPA actually does like a graduation
Yeah.
for them,
Oh,
so.
good.
I'll even suit up for them.
Yeah, right?
They're expected to be dressed up. None of this.
I don't think they'll wear suits.
No?
And yeah, I'm not,
They have, no,
not
they,
Paul and Nate, come on
they,
now.
NEPA expects that they treat it as a college graduation.
Really?
Okay.
They,
Yeah, it's good.
they can't be in like their,
Formal attire.
yeah, they don't want them in their jeans and sweatshirts, like, they want them to
Interesting.
look presentable, you know?
I don't think I've seen Nate in anything but Carhartts and a sweatshirt.
You all probably
that one.
experienced the power outage last Thursday when a
Yes.
voltage transformer right back here in our Elm Street sub failed. Diagnosed problem right away. It was quite obvious. It just took them a little bit to switch that out, and we weren't off very long. though.
No.
I would say kudos to Diane, the team out front. Lynn went out there as well. I would say we got 100 phone calls in the first 5 minutes. Am I underestimating?
I
Is
think
that-
you're underestimating.
Really? Okay.
5 people answering phones nonstop for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, as soon as it goes off, not only is it dark, I do not think it's 20 seconds before the phone rings. I'm serious.
It's 20
It-
seconds.
It's
Yeah.
20 seconds. And
Probably not.
And then the fire alarm went off. and
I
then-
don't
wasn't
even,
here, but
I don't
I
even
certainly
call,
heard
I'm just
about
like, lights come on
Fire
eventually.
alarm went off.
Yeah.
so it was a pain, but they got it fixed quickly. They're continuing to work on pole upgrades. Bruceau Road's now complete. Within that shop, tree maintenance, I want to talk about that a little bit. So our internal committee met again to review all the bids to ensure they met the scope and the requirements.
This is for the grant.
This is for the grant. So what I want to remind everybody here and on TV land is that this is a Department of Energy grant, a federal grant, passed through and managed by the Department of Public Service, both of whom have stringent requirements to ensure that you follow all rules related for requests for proposals. And we did that. Got a very comprehensive list with a wide range of bids, but here's the ultimate reminder. The award from DOE, managed by DPS, is $146,000 and change, with a match of approximately $71,000. That match is not new money. We take that match from our annual tree trimming budget. So we would have spent that to maintain these locations regardless. The enhancement is $146,000 in free money to do even more to maintain the integrity of our system.
And we're still doing our regular annual tree trimming. We using the tree
We
trimming
are not.
budget?
No, I
We have
had,
about 32,000 remaining in that budget after the match.
yeah, I had Darren stop.
I was gonna say, cause I saw a couple to the people we usually have.
Yeah,
on
we
the-
did that in January and February, and I had him stop him in February.
Okay,
Because we didn't know, well, at that point, we weren't 100% sure we were gonna get the grant money for tree trimming.
yep,
But I needed that match money to still be in
Yeah.
that budget.
okay,
So we've held them off for right now,
yep,
and then whatever is left after.
pick it back up.
They'll pick it back up.
Yeah.
So that essentially would give us 3 times the amount of
No.
Tree
we-
trimming power.
We usually do.
140?
We
No,
do,
about 1.5 times.
yeah, cause we usually
Yeah.
do about 200,000 a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, sorry, I'm so,
Well, I think the budget overall this year was less than 200,000
It was.
budgeted.
No,
Yeah.
well, you gotta look at transmission.
Yeah.
So I budget for transmission
Yep.
and distribution and our crews.
Right.
So if you add the three
Right.
together, we're about
Okay.
two hundred thousand.
Right.
Okay.
But
I
we
meant
are
for
gonna
our
go,
matching part of the grant for the 140, we had to put 70 in
we
for
have
the
to put,
140.
but 71,000 of
71,
not new money. Money we budget every year to gain a benefit of 146,000 in free
Right, which-
money.
and
Triples
also just to note
that amount
that
of work.
being on top of the transition, to all of the tree trimming is why we can so quickly turn the power back on.
Correct.
So how do we not budget this money for this? There would be, and almost all of our lines are roadside except for a small portion,
Which are the ones that we're doing cross-country with this
cross-country
grant.
on the horn, yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, so we have not awarded yet. We're still having that dialogue. We still need one final piece of documentation from Department of Energy through DPS that says you're good to go. Once we have that, we'll meet one final time. We'll nail down the award. We'll do the same thing we always do. We'll put notice on our website. We'll talk about it at the next meeting. So I just want to make sure people are acutely aware of the fact that this is a massive gain, this grant for us.
With Paul and Nate in their year 4, what's Carter? He year 1?
He's tested out of year 1, so he's
So
in
he's year
year
2.
1 for hours,
1.5?
year 2 in the school.
Okay,
So the same with Paul
Yep.
and Nate, like Paul's actually a year 4,
Mm-hmm.
he'll top out this year, well, he can't top out till he graduates, so he won't be able to top out till the end, very end of December. Nate, hours wise, will top out in 2027,
Year behind.
okay,
cause he tested out of year 1 also.
gotcha, okay,
Combination of the school and the hours.
gotcha,
Yep.
okay.
I got another question from some of the village residents. I guess they live in, I'm gonna assume, multi-housing tenement. So they have multiple meters on their building.
For electric,
Yeah.
so if they're an apartment building.
Yep.
It's residential,
Oh, I know.
yeah.
They just received a notice saying, we have exchanged the electric meters at your location. New meters have much more capability to include power factor as part of Swanton Electric. We will track power factor for 3 months to see if there is a lagging power factor.
That's
So
for our commercial,
That's a commercial account.
yeah.
It's a commercial account.
Yeah.
So Power Factor's now up and running and working properly in our system. It tracks usage in a business to make sure they're running efficiently. And if they're not,
And you will be
that gives them
notified
the
after.
opportunity to try and fix their power factor.
Okay.
But Lori could explain that better. She's our billing specialist, so they could call the office
Okay.
during business hours. And
I think they were like, I don't know how to explain
But it
this.
has to do with a commercial account and
Yeah.
running their business efficiently,
Okay.
electric wise.
Yeah.
Electric usage wise.
Right. Thank you.
We all set on tree trimming and
Yes, sir.
vegetation management?
I actually, are we targeting more ash trees right now due to Emerald Ash Borer?
There is some, there's a bunch on McQuam in particular, but they're all over our service area, and we're simply prioritizing the ones that are more dead, dying, and dangerous than others.
Okay.
But we do not have enough money in the budget to just go and systematically remove all of them at once.
That's fine, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly all those started to die.
It was
We
the real
went-
deal. I was skeptical that
We
that was gonna
went
happen
way
like that,
over
but it did.
budget 2 years ago because
Yep.
that was when the emerald ash borer actually hit our territory. And we had a huge amount.
So we had to take the ash tree out of
Yeah,
my
like,
backyard.
there was one summer that, our tree trimmer doesn't usually work for us in the summer. And Dwayne had to call him in, there was a number of trees that he had to remove.
Yeah, we noticed it on our backyard, all along the water line, all the trees just didn't.
Yep,
All right,
yep. Okay, so the next one, good on tree maintenance?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. The next one, it's really old business, but we need a motion, so I'm gonna read a proposed motion, then I'm gonna talk about what it is. But it relates to the fact that we're the pass-through for the Abenaki Tribal Council Building Grant. So if you remember ACCD, which is Economic Commerce and Community Development, you have to keep coming back for the various stages of awards. They changed everything. So like literally through the life of one award, you might have to come and get a motion 4 times. So in this case, they have prepared a grant agreement for the Tribal Council Building Construction Project. We're the sponsoring agency for this grant. We're not contributing any funding for the project. If you recall, twice now, this will be the 3rd time. You originally approved in June of 2024. They had an additional request for $120,000 more in funding that you approved in October of 2025. Now we need a motion to just authorize, actually you have to sign it as a legislative body, authorizing Heidi as the grant administrator and me as the village manager. And the proposed motion is the Swanton Village Trustees approve a resolution accepting the responsibility of the terms and conditions of the grant agreement and designates the village manager, William Sheets, the authority to execute all appropriate documents. It's a mouthful. It is just another step,
about-
no money out of pocket.
So moved.
And I've typed up
Move
the
that
proposed
mouthful.
motion for you, Diane, so.
I move what Bill said.
I second.
All right, we have a first and a second to appoint Bill the ability to approve the
Well,
extra.
Heidi and
Bill,
Yes.
the ability to approve the extra funds for the Abenaki project. Best way to describe it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.
Do not let me forget to have the 4 of you sign that, please.
Okay.
We won't do it now, but we'll do it after. The next one is, you would have seen this go out in the form of a request for proposals. So we received a $50,000 grant from the state of Vermont for the 2 stormwater basins essentially. So 1 RFP, I sent you this as part of your packet, but on the last few pages of this, it shows where it's gonna be. It's Greenwich Street. So essentially, if you follow the brook from Greenwich on or about 36.5 Greenwich, so the Platt Street end, and if you look down that, it comes out toward Gary LaShore's property and Grand Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
On both ends of that project, we want to put in a basin that's going to help with a whole bunch of runoff, stormwater. So we are in the process of, we'll do some mandatory site visits, I guess in 2 days. And then we'll.
In the snow.
Well, yeah, a lot of interest already. We're hoping for some competitive bids, and we hope to get those done this year. So again, we have a lot of stormwater issues remaining.
And that's
but
not stuff that in kind the PWD can do, or we're
No,
putting
we're-
that out to,
This is clean water. This is good. This is fully funded.
okay,
This is not out of our pocket. at all.
okay, gotcha.
But we do not have the capacity to
Tracking.
do it internally.
Because they're doing all that sidewalk
If,
plus Gallup or
if Dean
Dewey
is,
or
if Dean is
whatever.
watching this,
He
you
don't.
might try to get Dean to do all the sidewalk in 1 year. All of it. But I don't think he can do that. I think it's maybe a bit too much. All right, look at this. I lost my place. You all might be in luck. You think I was done?
No, because you haven't
No,
talked about the
no, sir.
water, you haven't talked about sewer.
No, I'm not done. The SAP run this year. Sunday, April 26th, they'll leave at 8 or 8:15 from the village. So just a reminder, with traffic in the area, they don't have a law enforcement contract, so we'll certainly be there to kick off the race unless there's an emergency that takes us somewhere else. The portalets will be, we're getting good at this now, the
Backside.
back side of the parking lot. And they'll remain there for the weekend and then they'll remove them. So, good event, part of the Maple Festival. Public Works, so they're continuing their work on some meter pits as time allows. And Mother Nature, they were out again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The snow and ice will not stop. And it was nasty. There were a lot of accidents throughout northern Vermont. Not so much for us, but others. So they're still dealing with that. Many instances lately in sewer systems, they're using that root cutter that we got. And if you have not seen it, I actually brought it out here when it was new, before it was ever in the sewer.
Saving the day, is it?
So we used to rent those for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a pop. This thing has paid for itself numerous times. We're using
Already.
it all the time.
Yeah.
And it is going through and just cleaning out these sewers. So we're extending the life in all likelihood of a lot of these lines. Same thing for the camera.
I was gonna say that's.
You can actually show, in a case, a recent homeowner, show them exactly where the problem is. This happened to be just outside our jurisdiction, but
yeah.
we're able to do what we can and
I
pull the
heard that.
homeowner and say, here's exactly on your privately owned line, just
Where it is.
over where your issue is and what it looks like. And they can come in and see it on camera. That's pretty valuable.
Yep.
So that's been a great addition. Water. So they're still working on communication with PLCs, chemical pumps, and the get along stuff. The good news is, if you recall, I used to sit in here and talk about the number of call outs. 12 weeks now. 12 weeks without a call out.
Good.
So better management of the system, just dialing it in. We get a brand new SCADA system tomorrow. That's an offline system, meaning closed, not on the internet, not accessible by the public. That's really important. All kinds of cybersecurity emails. We're getting a lot of threats specifically from Iran targeting US water supply systems. The real deal. All through the PLC, all through SCADA systems that are attached to the internet. So that component of our enterprise passed with flying colors when we did that cybersecurity penetration test, and it's showing. So that's good stuff. For the first time in about 2 years, the UV lights at water are up and running as a secondary source of disinfection. It's just an added layer of protection. Chlorine's the primary, but it's nice to have that second one back. And they're real finicky, but those guys got them going. Last for water, congrats to Avery Mitchinson on passing his grade 5 wastewater exam. Highest level in the state of Vermont. So Avery now joins Jason Starr, Dylan Dupont as having the highest certifications in Vermont for both water and wastewater.
Really?
Nice.
Wow.
So good,
Good job.
good accomplishment for sure. Moving on to wastewater, it's a massive push. That site is a busy site, siding, filter building almost done. The folks from Blue Pro, which is the big filters, I think they're in next week or the tail end of this week for pre-commissioning. But we hope everything is commissioned. We should be 2 months away, knock on wood, 2 months away from completion of that project with maybe, some leveling of areas, dirt movement, stuff like that. So as soon as we know that, maybe we'll do a warned meeting when all of you can go down, and we'll invite the public and at least do a tour. And the last thing is a reminder to all of you, many of you have already completed it, but you gotta complete your open meeting law and ethics trainings. Ethics is just that. Actually, the open meeting law, there's no sign off, you don't get certification. The ethics training, you'll actually get certification, you'll get an email yourself when it's complete.
I didn't
You
get one.
You should. If you didn't, just certify with us
I
that you
didn't
did
either.
it, and
Yeah.
we'll be good to
I
go.
used the link you sent and I went through the whole thing and it didn't.
Right at the end, there's a spot you could fill out, and it sent me one. There is a place where you can add another name, and you suggested that you added me. I never got anything on your behalf, but just, it's really, a lot of this is the honor system.
Yeah.
You take the training, you certify to me. We'll create a spreadsheet. Your open meeting law is annually, your ethics is every 3 years. So we'll put it in a spreadsheet and we'll track it internally, so you know what you have to take and when you have to take it. So for a couple of you, if you've done that and I have not yet heard from you, just send me an email.
Okay.
I'm looking at you too.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Did you sign up for the new trustee or select board training they have at the VLCC? It's very informative. You should do it.
Is it the one that's like the in-person?
I think they do
There's
those.
some in person, there's some online, there's a bunch of different trainings available, but those two are your mandatories.
Yeah. No, I did the in-person for the They'll be like
Yep,
next month.
gotcha. That's all I have for village manager updates unless you have questions.
Nope.
Number 19, any other necessary business? Anyone?
Nope.
We have anything for 20? Proposed executive session?
We have no need for an executive session.
Number 21?
All right, then
Meeting adjourned.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, we have first and second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, everyone who attended online.